Of course. And I make it very clear in the lecture series that you can only attract what you deserve, and you can only attract the masculine representation of who and what you are right now.
Hmm. So
Right.
is it
So
better
if in
to?
fact, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is it better to not look during that time? Is it better to get yourself clear? Is it better to not look at all? Is it better to just work on yourself and then the man will come?
Yeah, well, this is the critical point in terms of attracting a honorable man. It's not like you have to do anything external. It's all internal. It's always internal. It's by virtue of your sacred womb. It's always an internal process, and through that internal process, you will attract into you the individuals, the people, the situation, and circumstances that will resonate with your current state of development. So, personal refinement is the key. If in fact there is healing that needs to take place, then that needs to be dealt with. If one must needs to change their mentality about certain aspects of male-female relationships in order to raise their vibrational state, then that must be done in anticipation of or in preparation of the honorable man. And one thing I'll talk about in the lecture series is how being prepared is so very important. If you're not prepared for your blessings, then when it comes, you will not be able to receive it.
Right.
And I give an example inside of the lecture series where it's like a closet, and inside that closet there's a male that you kind of deal with just because, and out of desperation you're dealing with him, and he's not necessarily reflective of the best of who you are. He's not necessarily the best masculine representation of who and what you are, but you deal with him anyway. And you get into that closet, and all of a sudden you close the door, and you're dealing with him, and right when you close the door, that honorable man, that blessing that was right around the corner, happens to walk by.
Mm.
And that's how things work like that. It's often when we finally give up, it's like if we would have held on just a little bit longer and refined ourselves in the process. It's not a matter of just sitting and doing nothing. It's not a matter of actively pursuing a mate. It's a matter of personal refinement from the inside. And when you do that every single day, you're seeking to improve upon who and what you are as a woman. And what takes place is, as you refine yourself, you evolve the quality of who and what you are, your essence. And in fact, the vibrational field that you create around you becomes an affirmation to the universe that says, look, I am ready now. I am refining myself. And what happens is men will begin to manifest into your space that will assist you in that process. And that's a totally different dynamic than what we've been trained as men and women, that we're supposed to be on the prowl and we're supposed to be looking. No, it's not about looking, and it's not about going out and dating. That's just the illusion that we've been given. The real core issue is, am I the best woman that I am today? Am I the best man that I can be today? And if we say yes, then the idea is that tomorrow, can we become greater? And if you're always becoming greater, what you will attract unto you will always be greater.
Yes. I love it. Excellent. I guess we're on number 6 of the questionnaire.
Oh, yes. Okay, so number 6, and this is a very important one because I talk a lot about self-worth and self-esteem. And for women, for you who listen to, you may be prepared, you may have done the personal refinement, but if you don't really value yourself, then you will settle for something less than that is deserving of you. You will settle for something that is less than what you deserve. And part of the idea is that if you really value yourself as a woman, you will only demand and you will only command the best of what you deserve from the universe. And that includes an honorable man. So the question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate your current self-worth and why? And that's a critical question for all women to ask.
Yes. And what advice would you give someone that's on the low scale?
Personal refinement, and of course, understanding essentially who and what you are. And I give 3 examples inside the lecture series: that you are the nurturer of life, and that you are the giver of life, and that you are the inspirer of life. And this is essentially who and what you are as in terms of a woman by virtue of your sacred womb. And if you are the creator of things, if you are the inspirer of things, and if you have the capacity to nurture greatness in men, then how can you see yourself as having low self-esteem? How could you value yourself any less than what you truly are as a creative, powerful force here on planet Earth? But I get more into it inside the lecture series because self-worth and self-value is the foundation of all relationships.
Yes, because I know people date people because they think that they're going to fix them, or the relationship is going to, heal everything. And sometimes you just end up focusing on that other person and not yourself, and not healing, the stuff from the past or the old wounds. So your advice is to heal yourself from the inside, and then you will attract a more fruitful relationship.
Yes, the universe will take care of the rest. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
The universe will take care of everything else as long as we are improving upon ourselves every single day. The universe, and I will tell you women out there who are listening to the show, there is nothing more attractive to an honorable man. See, we've been told this about how you look and what you wear and how no, that's not it. What is most attractive to an honorable man is to be in the presence of a woman who is refining herself day by day. That's the ultimate. Even sexual attraction is based upon that principle. We are sexually attracted to the woman who is refining herself every single day. The universe will take care of all of the other. It will dot the I's and it will cross the T's for you. All you have to do is continuously refine yourself as a woman, and everything else will be provided for you. This is the natural abundance of the universe. It does this.
Yeah. So what do you say to women that say that all the good men are married, gay, or in jail?
Well, if it's a good man, he wouldn't be in jail. And if he was a good man, is someone who is a man, is that the same as someone who is homosexual? So let's be clear.
You see what I'm saying? We have to be clear on our definitions. But let's take this even a step further. Why not say an honorable man?
Right.
You see, who has a track record, who respects women, who has a track record of respecting and holding women in high esteem, an honorable man. See, even within the terminology that we use, where women oftentimes you're selling yourself short. That's like saying that's like saying, okay, there's not enough boys out there. Well, why would you want to have a boy? That's like saying, okay, there's not enough males out there. Well, you just don't want a male. Okay, you want an honorable man. And when you make that affirmation to the universe, and I would tell you women out there, we are in abundance. And no, not all of us are married. And no, not every single one of us is in line with having an intimate relationship with you. In fact, what will take place when you personally refine yourself is honorable men will come into your space just to be in service to you. No strings attached, just to be in service. As a matter of fact, for honorable men, the degree of our manhood is directly related to the degree to which we are in service to women, with no strings attached. So again, we have to be clear in terms of our definitions, and we have to be clear in terms of our expectations as women. And if you make that affirmation to the universe that no, there's not a lot of good men out there, and that all the good men are either gay, they're in jail, or they're married. If you make that affirmation, well, that will be your reality. And you can't complain because you fortified that reality with the words that you spoke and the thoughts that you keep. You got to transform that. You have to recognize that we are in abundance. And when you say that we are not, you are restricting our capacity to be in service to you.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that the way you are as an honorable man, do you feel that this generation that's coming up now, it's still going to be in abundance? Because I believe that the media it seems like it's turned up. The volume's been turned up on the degradation of women in the music, in the video games, in the catalogs and everything, more than it was when you were growing up. So I'm wondering if the amount of honorable men is going to decline, or what do you think?
I wouldn't think of it in terms of statistics. I would look at it in terms of, as a woman. See, it's never about how many good men are there. It's not about what men are doing. It's about who and where you are currently at as a woman. You see what I'm saying? And as long as you refine yourself, and that is your only spiritual obligation in terms of male-female relationships, in terms of initially, your only obligation is not to worry about how, what's the percentage of good men. That's beside the point. The point is refine yourself as a woman and prepare yourself for your blessing, which is on its way. And when I look at in terms of society and the reality is that a lot of the media and the programming, it has devolved masculinity. It has devolved the quality of men. And this cannot be denied. But as a man and as an honorable man and as a committed husband and father, I can't worry about that. What I can deal with is my 2 sons.
Yes.
You see?
I can raise them up in such a way, regardless of the media programming and regardless of what people may say in terms of there's not good. No, I can care less about that. What I care about is making sure that I do my part so that I know that when I leave this earth, I would have left more honorable men here than when I came here. You see what I'm saying? So within that, this is important for men to understand that we have a responsibility to each other to raise up masculinity, which is the title of my lecture series for men. It's not about how many are going to be there. As men, it's about, are we doing our part so that we can make sure that we contribute to that volume of men who happen to be honorable? Are we doing our part to help each other, to raise masculinity up, to raise each other up into higher heights of manhood and masculinity? And in that sense, that is our responsibility as men, as honorable men. But for women, it should not be a statistical analysis. It should be about your internal personal development. And what you will find is that as you refine yourself, the honorable man will simply present himself and be in service to you.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Excellent. So, where do you think we get our self-worth from?
Yeah, I'll talk about this in the lecture series. We get it from many different places. Initially, it should come from our parents. It should come from how, for instance, when my son does something, hey, son, that's great. I want him to value himself and his creativity and his importance. And my daughter, oh, that's really, really nice. So you look so pretty today. You give them the self-worth and the self-value. Also, your friends and your other family members, they should instill their self-worth and self-value. But of course, ultimately, your self-worth and self-value must come from the inside. And as you refine yourself, I'm really big on this. As you refine yourself, you value yourself even more. As a matter of fact, as you refine yourself, what takes place is you can see your own progression as a woman, or for you men as a man, and therefore you hold yourself in higher esteem, and as you well should. This develops your own personal worth and your self-value and so forth. So it comes from many different places. Unfortunately, and you know this to be the case, for women, the model in terms of what is beautiful, the model for what it means to be a woman, the model for what it means to have value as a woman, much of it comes from media propaganda. And that media propaganda is heavily rooted in a degraded version of a degraded version in terms of what the value of women is, or the value of the essential value of women is. And so for many of us, when we talk about the healing process that needs to take place, a lot of the healing stems from the propaganda and the media manipulation that we've experienced throughout life. But when we do deal with that, what we find is that personal refinement that takes place as we heal from those wounds, and as that personal refinement begins to radiate out towards the universe, we will again begin to attract into our space situations and circumstances that will reinforce that value.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay, are we on number 7?
Yeah. So number 7. Do you believe that you are deserving of experiencing a positive relationship with an honorable man? And please elaborate as to why you believe this way.
And this is a huge one right here.
Because I am working on myself.
Yes, but you can work on yourself and you can be the most beautiful woman on the planet. And women just naturally are beautiful, but that's not the point. How beautiful you are, that's not the point. Because if that was the point, most women on the planet, you're fine anyway. You would already have everything taken care of automatically just because you're beautiful. That has little to do with it. I'm talking about attracting an honorable man. And yes, that's wonderful and that's great. And we value and we see women as being beautiful, and yes, indeed. But that's not what is going to cause us to commit to you indefinitely, meaning that to commit to you for all time and all eternity. You see, even the commitment that we make as honorable men, it transcends space and time. It transcends this existence. But if we're focusing on the materialistic aspect, well, what does that mean when you pass and you leave your body, right? So, are we still committed then? Because everything was about, how I look. No, we cannot be, because you no longer possess that body. So in that sense, we have to think on higher levels in terms of male-female relationships. It's a cosmic event that is taking place and has been taking place since the beginning of time. But in terms of the self-worth, it's important for women, even if you're refining yourself, you have to have a level of patience. And you also have to know in your heart that you are worthy of an honorable man, not to think or to believe, but you must know this, because you can do all of the personal refinement that you want to do. You can be as beautiful as you can possibly be. You can have everything taken care of. But if you do not essentially believe in your heart that you are deserving of an honorable man, it cannot manifest. And the only way that you can get to the point where you sincerely believe and you know that you are deserving of an honorable man is through personal refinement and self-worth and valuing yourself on such a level to where you say to the universe, I am ready for this and I am deserving of this and I lay claim to this. And lo and behold, the honorable man will present himself to you.